Welcome to Light Hat Security. In this video, we're going to talk about data breaches and what you can do about them. It seems that every few months we hear about a huge data breach happening at some large corporation or other organization. Some of the most recent and notable examples have been the Equifax breach of over 150 million accounts in 2017, a breach at Uber of 600,000 drivers' information and 57 million riders' information in 2016, and the absolutely staggering breach of all 3 billion Yahoo accounts with a hack carried out in 2013 that wasn't even discovered until 2017. For the average individual, data breaches pose one of the most serious threats to your personal information. This is due to two reasons. First, it is much more profitable and easy for hackers. Rather than spend considerable time and effort to steal one person's information, they could steal potentially millions of people's data and use that. Even if it isn't credit card information stolen, information such as social security numbers, emails, names, and addresses can all be sold to criminal organizations and other parties. The other reason that data breaches pose such a threat is less straightforward. It can often be very difficult to determine if you have been affected by a data breach, and that difficulty often discourages people from making the effort to find out. Companies will often notify their customers who have been affected by a breach, but this can take time and is not guaranteed. Furthermore, people are often tempted to assume that they weren't affected and neglect to take action that might protect their information or identity from being exploited. On top of this, data breaches are almost never immediately discovered. On average, it takes over 6 months for a company to detect a data breach. Between the time that the breach occurs and its discovery, those who committed the breach are free to do whatever they wish with the data. And as you saw earlier, the Yahoo breach took many years to be discovered. Having gone over what makes data breaches dangerous, we are now going to lay out some suggestions for what you should do when a data breach is announced. Number 1, check if the company breached has access to your data. This one may seem obvious, but if a company that was breached doesn't have your data, then you're not at risk. However, you need to be sure that you're not at risk. For example, in the recent Target breach, anyone who used a credit card to shop at Target was potentially at risk. There are a few tools you can use to determine if you have been exposed. One of these is a website, haveibeenpwned.com. Compiles the data from all public data breaches and allows you to check if your email address was contained in any of them. Alright, number 2. Determine what information is at risk. The response you take to a breach is determined by what information is stolen. If it is your email address and/or password, you might need to change your password and ensure that password wasn't reused for any other accounts. For more information on this, watch our video on password tips. However, if information like your credit card number or social security number was stolen, you'll need to make sure that you take the appropriate steps. Contact your bank, credit card agency, and the IRS as the situation requires, and do it as soon as possible. Number 3, take the appropriate steps. Like we mentioned above, make sure to quickly take the appropriate steps to change or protect the information that was stolen. Changing your passwords and security questions, adding two-factor authentication to accounts, contacting bank and credit card agencies, and so on. Our fourth and final suggestion, be vigilant. As we mentioned at the start, it is tempting to assume that data breaches won't affect you, but it's much safer to assume that you are affected by a data breach and take appropriate actions. On top of that, being proactive about your information security can prevent any negative effect of a data breach even before they are announced. We hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Thanks for watching.